Hello, my loves. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. Hi, hello-y. My name is Loey, and I know I'm back so soon with all of you, but it's actually because I have really fallen down a bit of a TikTok rabbit hole recently. I feel like this happens like once a year where I will get so obsessed all over again with analog horror, and analog horror of all kinds. I've actually talked about a lot of analog horror here on my channel, but since we've been switching it up with the scary side of TikTok, I thought I would specifically go hunting for the best and the worst of TikTok analog horror series. But before we get into today's video, I want to thank our sponsor, Quince. I've been on a bit of a journey this year rediscovering my own personal style. So when our sponsor Quince reached out, I was so excited to try their pieces because Quince believes that quality should not be a luxury. And from 100% grade A Mongolian cashmere to 14 karat gold jewelry, they're able to keep their prices low by working with top tier manufacturers and cutting out the middlemen. They also have a focus on sustainability and only work with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing processes, as well as premium fabrics and finishes that you are going to love. Now, you know, of course, if I'm talking about it, they do also have an amazing plus size section. So the first thing I have here is this washable silk skirt. It is so unbelievably soft. I truly cannot believe the price point is so low for this skirt. I think it is going to be a staple in my closet for years and years to come. Then we have this Tencel rib knit maxi dress. An item like this with another brand could see sky high prices, but everything with Quince is priced 50% less than what you'd find with most similar brands. Lastly, right now I'm wearing this jersey fit and flare dress in this gorgeous kind of like hunter green color. It has pockets. It's a fantastic length. I feel like you could really kind of dress it up or dress it down. And here's one good way to style it for fall with pieces you may already have in your closet. I have like a brown leather jacket, this really cute brown belt bag, and this piece is totally going to be something that transcends seasons in my wardrobe. I truly love these pieces that I've tried so far, and the quality is really there, which I really love as I'm trying to build out my wardrobe and find my own personal sense of style again. And Quince doesn't just stop at quality clothing. They also have amazing home goods, Italian leather handbags, gorgeous jewelry. So upgrade your wardrobe, home, and more with high quality essentials from Quince. You can go to quince.com/Loey or click the link in my description box down below to get free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Thank you so much to Quince for sponsoring this video. It means a lot. And now let's chat about these scary videos. I am so excited about this because there are so many accounts that I've never come across before and that we certainly have never talked about before, as well as maybe a few familiar faces. But I think we should start off with somebody new. New to you, not so much to me. I've been a fan of this account for a while now, and that is Tatadovnar. Terribly sorry if I'm butchering that pronunciation, but Tata makes these really cool analog horror-esque short films on her account. So let's watch some of her top and creepiest videos together.
If you are inside your home with the lights out, do not look outside your window. Turn on your lights before you look through any window. Do not leave your home if you see a figure outside. Even if he is turned away, do not look at him. Lock all doors and windows before turning off all lights inside your residence. Hide in a small space and call authorities. Do not move from hiding unless you hear an unfamiliar voice. If you do hear a familiar voice coming from inside your home, do not move. He is inside. He is inside. He is inside.
Oh my god! It's so good, and I feel like so much analog horror will play with like the mimicry of it all. I mean, I think initially we saw that with Mandela Catalog here on YouTube. These entities that almost like pose as someone you know and love, or in this case, yourself.
Do not panic. Do not move. This is a nationwide announcement. Do not leave your home until further notice. If you have a loved one who is outdoors, do not make any sort of contact. They are most likely infected. Lock all doors and windows. Keep children out of sunlight and in shadows. Do not let them see you. Red lights will be used to inspect homes. If the light senses movement, it will destroy your home along with you and your family. Your safety means nothing to us. It is up to you to survive how you like. If you choose to live, follow our laws. 1. Stay silent.
Watching these before bed is truly very brave. I'm telling you, I've been a fan of Tata's account for so long now. These videos are really, really effective, and I feel like she's able to grasp onto this sense of like uncanniness in a way that few other creators can.
Was there? I turned on the light.
Oh my god. Every single time, man. You absolutely should go over to her account and quite literally just binge watch every single video she has. There's a lot with copyrighted music that I couldn't put in this video. She plays a lot, I feel, with the idea of like safety within your home. Coming across a loved one and getting a text later from that same loved one telling you that they're coming home, seeing yourself where you shouldn't be, and so many of these short films that she makes on her account are really, really unique and unlike anything I've ever seen before. There are a couple of like playlists on her account, you know, that sort these stories in different categories and stuff like that, but I don't think that there's like a running arc in her work, unless I'm missing something. But I especially like the videos around like sleep and maybe sleep paralysis, odd dreams, stuff like that. I think her entire account is just a treasure trove of horror. I quite literally have goosebumps just from watching those videos alone. She is so good at what she does. So I'm happy to start off strong with her account. I quite literally could not talk about analog horror though on TikTok without talking about my friend Spencer Lackey. And if that name rings a bell, we've certainly talked about Spencer on the scary side of TikTok, but he had an entire video dedicated to his piece ASL, which is a like analog horror series on YouTube. And you want to know something so crazy? So literally the day after I originally posted that video, I had been like watching Spencer through a screen for probably like 6 hours by the time that that went up. And I am at the after party of the movie Black Phone 2 one night, and I see a guy who kind of looks like Spencer out of the corner of my eye, and I think I have been looking at this man way too long. He walks up to me, and guess who it is? We were both just like, what are the odds of us running into each other like this right after I made a fully dedicated video on his series? It was so crazy. So maybe I'll run into him again now that I'm telling you about him in this video. Spencer, much like Tata, is a filmmaker. However, in his work, he plays a lot, and I mean a lot, with the idea of an entity. His work focuses a lot on the atmosphere, and there isn't a lot of dialogue involved, which makes it even more uncomfortable. He's not doing great. You should come say goodbye. Oh no. What is at the bottom of these basement steps though? I knew I was gonna get jump scared there, but man, this is why I think that sound is really cool with what he makes, because when sound comes into play, because so much of it is atmospheric and quite quiet, it really has an impact. It's like show and tell. It's always a creepy face at the end, man. And honestly, if you go back and look at his original videos, he has come so far in his art. Like, these entities have gotten so creepy. I've never seen anything like them, honestly. Take, for example, this one of a large man in a large doorway. Spencer, go wake your brother up. Okay. It's always in this dark closet, isn't it, man? Always get me, man. I'm never mad at a Spencer jump scare because they're always pretty effective. You can't hate the player or the game, honestly. And then finally, here's one more, but again, you should just check out everyone that I'm mentioning today's accounts, but definitely check out Spencer because he just makes the coolest stuff.
Can I come in? Please? Let me in. If you don't let me in, I'm gonna get angry.
Torturing this poor man on the toilet. Let him go in peace. His videos almost have this like gotcha to them where it's like, you know the feeling when you're home alone and maybe you feel like something's watching you. So you look over your shoulder and obviously nothing's there. It plays with that idea. However, it always ends on a true nightmare being spotted. So I absolutely love Spencer's work on TikTok. I do have a very soft spot for his piece ASL. If you guys want to watch my reaction and kind of like breakdown of it, you can check out the video down below. But also really recommend watching it for the first time on your own because it is a truly special, very unique piece. I'm trying to divide this video up as best I can between different types of analog horror. So these first two accounts were focused on, you know, real people, these creators being in their work. And there's one more account like this that I really would like to highlight, and I'm very new to it, but I have to tell you, I am a fan off the bat. And that is the account of a poster named Evillica. And these videos really have like a very retro kind of 90s-esque feeling, which I feel a lot of analog horror does, but you'll see as we start watching these, a lot of them incorporate like old Windows pop-ups. Like this one, it's called Coffee Time, and it feels like one of those old like point and click games. You know, we have add boiling water, and I feel like I would have played one of these, you know, pick up the kettle, except there's something quite spooky lingering in the background. Something's missing. Oh, find the mug. Oh no, girl. Open the cabinet. No mug. Uh-oh. Oh, there it is. And she's going, and grab the mug. Oh, access denied, apparently. And then we have that little thing. I also love this one, my cat Ginger. I too have a Ginger and she's sleeping over there, but unauthorized presence detected. Of course she's asleep. She doesn't see it. Unauthorized presence detected. Access lost. Oh dear. Where did the kitty go? Object missing. Blanket. That's not great. And then we get the good old-fashioned looking under the bed. Ginger. Unable to identify object. Use phone flashlight. See, it's so creepy. Oh, there's our girl. So who's under the bed? Those big ol' eyes. I have a Ginger, like I said, so when I saw this was the first video I saw from her, I was like, oh, I know this diva. Not all of her videos are just set to creepy audios. There's this one called Grandma's Visit.
If you wake up in the middle of the night and notice your grandma standing still in your room, do not trust everything you see. It is probably not her. To be sure, close your eyes and count to 3. After that, it will show its true form.
Not the close your eyes and count to 3. That feels like a trick in itself. Who made this informational video?
It may offer you some food. Politely refuse. It is not what it seems. To make the entity leave you alone, pretend to be asleep. If upon opening your eyes the entity is no longer visible, scan the entire room carefully. Stay alert.
Oh, grandma. And then there's also this one. I feel like a lot of these creators probably made a video to this audio while it was trending.
You see another person that looks identical to you, run away and hide.
Ew, oh my god, these are so good and effective. And like I said, I love the feel of them. I really like the way that they're edited. It's super unique and not like anything I've ever seen before. And while it's not exactly the same, it did remind me of videos from the creator Molly Moon. You've probably seen her videos pop up before. It has that same sort of point and click horror game style, but leans a little bit more into that than the last account.
Excuse me, sir. Can you help me find my cat? Thanks. He must be here somewhere. Find him.
Uh-oh.
Please don't tell her you found me. Did you find him? I guess he'll have to be the place.
Oh my god! And again, I just love the style of these so much. And Molly has been posting these videos for a pretty long time. This is her most popular video ever. It's called The Sitter.
Hi, you must be the babysitter.
Sorry, wrong house. Oh, nope, that's me.
Come in, please. You two should eat dinner before I leave. Feed him.
That is a face only a mother could love.
Clean him up. Be gentle. What did you do? Daddy is gonna be mad.
Daddy is a big old bug, but I was really excited to tell you guys about the fact that there was a video game coming out, like inspired by this in partnership with Molly. It was by the creator of Faith, the Unholy Trinity, like Faith, like it was so crazy. Unfortunately it has been canceled and that's really sad. It looked super cool. It was called Excuse Me, Sir. So I'm really sad we never got to see that, but I do keep an eye on Molly and her account. This is not all she posts by any means, but these videos always have a special place in my heart. Getting into a bit of a different vibe, I've been meaning to talk about this series for a while. It's called The Joyful Judgment Show. It's created by Kyleparnell, and if you've ever wanted to know what religious trauma is as an analog horror series, look no further.
Isn't it wonderful to know that believing in Jesus means we get to go to the happiest place ever? Heaven is full of joy and love. But if someone doesn't believe, even if they just don't know yet, well, they might just miss out. Even the littlest ones need to know. Or else who knows where they could end up.
I know where they could end up.
The shepherd disciplines the ones he loves.
Your hands fold and pray. We might not every day.
The contrast between the happy little lamb and the happy singing children and then the absolute horror that follows is just chef's kiss. And while the plot truly does get horrifying, there's something so fascinating to me about the guilt that this implies based around religion.
Hello again, friends. Did you know that everyone who's ever gone to heaven can still see you? Even right now where you're sitting.
Man, that's just so terrifying. And in the comments, people are like, even right now where you're sitting.
All the souls who came before you can hear your every thought. Sit still and close your eyes. Sometimes, if we're quiet, we can listen back.
There you are. There you are. You better apologize for thinking that. There you are.
God and Gram are crying in heaven.
There you are.
You're a twisted little pervert, and Gram can see it in real time.
There you
You
are.
better apologize in case you die before you can apologize.
The shepherd disciplines the ones he loves. There you are.
Oh my God!
Your hands fold and pray.
Oh my God, it's so good. And so many of the comments read like this is exactly what it felt like to be religious as a child, to like go through religion as a kid. Not that this is everyone's experience, but as somebody who quite literally grew up in the church, and I feel like maybe you guys didn't know that as much as I thought you did. Recently, I talked about this, how like I grew up going to church like 3 days out of the week. It just feels so eerie, and it's like this sense of guilt that you would have that no matter what you do, you're not doing enough.
Hello, friends. Did you know you were born dirty? Someone had to bleed for you. That's the only way to be clean. Every drop means he loves you.
But every drop
Means it was your fault.
There you are.
Okay, we're hiding from Jesus, apparently. Messiah Mist is crazy.
Wash again. Still not clean. Wash again. Still not clean.
Your hands fold and pray.
Oh my God, Messiah Mist is insane. Just like the idea of holy water in a can. But man, those last scenes are so creepy. I love the like utilization of a camera in that, this almost feeling of always being watched. I remember growing up with that, feeling like, oh my God, like this all-powerful being sees every single thing I do, and every time I mess up, I'm in so much trouble. We even have an ad for Messiah Mist.
Hello, friends. Thanks for watching the show. Let's hear the good word from our sponsor.
Sweet salvation in every can. Messiah Mist, the drink of the
If you've been blessed by our little lamb, then open your heart and wallet to receive our special gift. For a small offering,
There are t-shirts. That's what this was for, was Messiah Mist merch basically. But episode 5 of this series is where things take a much darker turn, and we get a glimpse into the world around this show.
Hello, friends. Did you know that saying, yes, sir, is like saying, yes, God? The Bible says obey grown-ups because it's the right thing to do. If they're in charge, God put them there, even the not-so-nice ones. Let's play the still and quiet game. The best listeners don't move or speak at all.
Obeying is loving. Good listeners never talk back.
The factory producing these little lambs, like bathed in red, it is just such fantastic symbolism. In all my days, I never thought I would have an analog horror series like this to tell you about, but this has been something I have been following so closely, and it feels so special. I didn't necessarily know where to put it. I've been keeping a very close eye on Kyle's account, and he's shown like his behind the scenes work, and he's just such an incredible artist. I mean, this stuff must take so much work, and I'm very curious to know if there will be more around the series, if that makes any sense, like more around the Joyful Judgment show. Like, who are we in these little clips in between? Are we actually us, the viewer, like walking through normal life and feeling this immense guilt for not being good enough in the eyes of people around us and the Lord? Are we somebody else? Are we one of the many little lambs? I'm so incredibly curious, and like I said, I've just been keeping a very close eye on it. It really does invoke something in me. Like, what's that quote? The like, good art comforts the disturbed and like disturbs the comfortable. I think that totally applies here. And like I said, I have just been keeping really close tabs on this. Off the heels of that, there actually is another religious analog horror series that has gone incredibly viral. I know, strange that we have 2 in this video, but apparently it's a thing. However, Angel Engine is a little bit more controversial. You guys have been tagging me in these videos for a very long time, and after finally watching it tonight, I will say I understand why. The visuals are very creepy and the story is interesting. Essentially in the series, which I believe is set in like the 2030s, humanity has like reached the brink of extinction. And it's done, it's so over, we're screwed, and an angel comes down to help us. And instead of accepting that help, what people do instead is literally harness that angel's power and turn it into a machine that can perform miracles. Now, as you can probably tell from that video, one of the Angel Engine's biggest controversies is that it is an AI generated series. As far as I understand, as things went on, real art was utilized, real artists were hired, but the last time I checked in, AI was still being used at least in some capacity. What I hear from most people is, yeah, it's interesting, it just sucks it was made in this particular capacity. And the story is really interesting. There's a villain called Dr. Ernstman who is kind of in charge of this whole thing, and he's performing miracles with the Angel Engine, going so far as to literally resurrect people from the dead. Now, while that might seem philanthropic in itself, you know, you're raising people from the dead, of course, utilizing the power of this poor angel, there's also a much darker side to this, because this same doctor is encouraging people to sign up as almost like experiments for the Angel Engine, all for the betterment of the world and to save, hopefully, our universe. But what it actually does is turn them into monsters. Yeah, so register now, be a hero, except what follows is a absolutely horrifying clip of seemingly the same person turned into an absolute monstrosity. There's a lot more to the Angel Engine, but I have never made a fully dedicated video to this. You know, we've definitely talked about AI projects in the past. We did an entire like series of live streams on the Thompson extension, which was this really fascinating ARG around like liminal spaces. And it was essentially a world where this home was like stretching itself infinitely. And it was like this whole really interesting mystery. I did like the story of that, and the art was AI generated. There's also, I don't want to spoil anything, but an entire probably multi-hour video coming to you very soon on something called brain rot research, which is one of, if not the most interesting ARGs I have come across in a long time. There's like a video game coming out around this now, and I think that AI art was slowly being phased out, like I said, and real art was being used, but it goes so much further even than the ethics of using it. There is a lot of concern around copyright with AI. And I wonder for this particular creator if that is something that they have considered in starting to make something like a video game. Now, will it be for profit? I really don't know. I know there's merch based around this, but I find that stuff really interesting. There was this like Hallmark case around somebody who made a comic book using AI. They wrote the story, they made this comic book, and they wanted to copyright it. And basically where the decision landed was, yes, they own the story, but anything using these characters that AI had come up with, they didn't own the rights to that at all. And I think we're gonna see a lot more of this. I think it has to be at the very least also why Hollywood has not implemented that much use of AI, because quite frankly, if they could, I think they would. I think that it comes down to this big gray area around who owns what with it. And I think we're gonna see a lot more of that to come. But it is like when we come off of something like Joyful Judgment by Kyleparnell, which is so clearly a labor of such love, into something like this, you can tell it is AI. And so it's had a very mixed reaction. There are people who absolutely love it and who believe that the use of AI is warranted. But then I look at something like brain rot research that I'm gonna bring you shortly, where it's like, the use of AI is directly interwoven into a narrative that AI is bad, and it's just hard for me to look at something like this and feel great, I guess, about it. And to be honest, it doesn't even feel fair to put something like Angel Engine after the masterpiece that is Joyful Judgment, because that's such a labor of love. You can see the behind the scenes of how this was created on Kyle's TikTok account. And while I don't doubt that this has some creativity put into it, it is hard for me to enjoy it in the same way, if that makes any sense. So that is the best and worst, although, you know, nobody's really the worst. I'm not dogging on anyone for telling a story of analog horror on TikTok, and I really, really hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. A special thank you to my subscribers who are members of the channel. If you want to join the channel memberships and get extra members exclusive perks, like members only videos, polls to help us decide on future video topics, and so much more, you can click that little join button somewhere around the screen. We would love to have you. An extra special thank you to my VIP loves for their continued and generous support of the channel. I love and appreciate you all very, very much. I love you all very much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.